Hello everybody, welcome back to my Country Sparkles channel. Today, fall is definitely rolling in, which means it is time for me to pick some of my herbs. And today I'm going to be cutting off some basil to process for winter to last me through the whole year. So let's go have a look at my basil. Here we have my sweet basil plant. Doesn't that look so good? They don't like the cold. As you can tell, it's getting kind of cool at night. They're starting to crisp up a little bit, get a little freezer burned. So I'm going to chop this all off and I'm going to dry it to preserve it for wintertime. Oh man, it smells so good. I'm so excited. So in order to take it inside, because it's such a big bushy plant, I'm just going to use a plastic bag. I'm going to put it in a plastic bag. So I'm just going to cut these off at the bottom. That. Just like that. And clump it up. Oh man, I wish you guys could smell this. It smells so amazing. So with basil, in order to keep it producing nice big leaves, I snapped off a lot of these top flowers and bud areas here, like that, while they were growing. You can use these now for as basil, but to keep them growing and nice and bushy and not just flowering and making seeds, clip those off with your fingers, just like that. But I'm going to dry them and I'm going to keep them for winter time. With basil, you don't want the stem, you only want the leaves. In order to strip the leaves, all you do is you take it and you pull it down, and then that strips the leaves off. Just like that. And then you've got leaves to dry to put into spice jars and delicious meals and soups, which is perfect for fall time. And that's it. So you keep all the leaves and the stems, put in your compost, and then its nutrients will go back in the ground for next year. I'm going to finish cutting these off, and then it's a little windy today, don't want them flying away. But definitely a summer plant, not a winter one. Okay, now I'm just going to take these inside and I'm going to go strip off all the leaves and prep them for drying. I'll be right back. Here's all the basil that I just harvested. Look at that, so much basil. I don't want to keep it in this plastic bag. It doesn't have enough airflow to dry out the basil and it'll just get icky and mushy in there. All the moisture will be trapped. Don't leave it in the bag. But I just put it in the bag to bring it in. And now I'm going to strip off the leaves. I could try to let it dry in just this bundle here, but I'd like lay it out on the counter or something like that. It would take up a lot of room to do that, but it needs to get a lot of airflow. If I keep it together in the bundle, even outside the bag, the middle of it could have moisture trapped in it and then it'll get all mushy, and you don't want mushy herbs. You want them to be dry, right? You want dry herbs or use them fresh straight from the garden. So I'm going to de-leaf them to make less of it pretty much. I don't need so much volume of basil, and I'm still gonna dry them out, but how do you de-leaf them? So you just take your leaves and you can just pinch them off, just like this. Just like that. These ones have a little bit of damage to them, so I'm gonna leave those. But you can just pinch them off like this. It's super easy once you get into a groove. It's really fast. Or if you want, you can buy a little de-leafing herb tool, which is on Amazon. My husband printed this for me from his 3D printer. Maybe I will sell them one day if there's enough interest in it on my Etsy shop. All you do is you string it through the little hole there, and then you pull the herb plant through and it takes all the leaves off for you. Really easy. You just choose the right hole to put it through and then it takes your leaves off. It takes a little bit of the work out for you, and it's kind of fun. And your kids can help you. Really easy to do. So that is how you de-leaf your basil. Once this is all de-leafed, I'll just spread it out and I'll kind of swish it around every once in a while throughout the week or two that I'm going to leave it out to dry. I'll just rotate them like that. After you de-leaf it, you want to put it on a paper towel or a kitchen towel. This will help wick away the moisture, so that way it'll dry better and it'll allow airflow underneath it. If you just put, say, the basil leaves straight on your countertop and just leave them there, then as they dry they'll stick to your counter, or moisture will get stuck underneath the leaf, between the leaf and the countertop, and then it'll just turn mushy and it can mildew and stuff like that, and you definitely don't want that for your herbs. You want them to get lots of air and get lots of airflow so they can dry. If you don't want to wait for them to dry out on your counter for like a week or so, you can always put them into a dehydrator and just turn the air on that, and then it will do the airflow for you quickly and it'll be done in a day, maybe even half of a day. So that is how you de-leaf and you dry your basil. After it's dry, I will just crush it up and add it to all my spice jars. And spices don't go bad no matter how long you have them stored. As long as they don't get wet, then they won't get moisture put back in them, so they won't mildew or anything like that, so they're still good to eat. They do lose their potency of flavor after time, so if you have some really old herbs, all you do is you just add a bit more, and then however much to taste that you need, and that's all. You just add more and you get your flavor and just more intense. And then the more fresh they are, the less you add, because it can be really strong flavoring. So that's how you compensate for old versus new herbs. I almost forgot, you also want to wash your herbs before you store them. So you can either wash them here while they're on the stem before you de-leaf them, or you can wash them after you de-leaf them and just put them in like a salad tosser, spin it around, make sure you get as much moisture off as you can, and then lay them out so that way they can dry and they don't have any moisture trapped on them to allow mildew growth. So make sure you wash your plants. I don't use any chemicals on my herbs or anything like that, but there are bugs and animals and stuff out there, and I just like to make sure all my produce is extra clean. So don't forget to wash your produce. And that is how you harvest and dry and de-leaf your basil. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like down below, and also don't forget to subscribe so we can see you next time. Bye.